Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, February 6th, 2023. We welcome you to the February meeting of the Milford Board of Aldermen. Please join me as we salute our flag. Excuse me while I play with my microphone. Madam Secretary, will you please take the roll?
Alderman Archiola. Alderman Beatty.
Present.
Alderman Brewster.
Present.
Alderman Casey.
Here.
Alderman Gurman.
Here.
Alderman Genatasio.
Here.
Alderman Harlow. Here. Alderman Marlowe.
Here.
Alderman Moffett.
Here.
Alderman Rowe-Rennan.
Here.
Alderman Picelli.
Here.
Alderman Parente.
Here.
Alderman Vitro.
Here.
Alderman Vitale. Here. Alderman Willis.
Here.
14 are present.
Madam Secretary, Alderman Archiola would like to be excused. Thank you. The next portion of the meeting is devoted to public comment. Statements are strictly limited to the legislative function of the Board of Aldermen. Please use every effort to limit public speaking to the permissible business of the Board of Aldermen. The time limit granted to each speaker shall be 3 minutes. Residents, taxpayers, and electors may address the board at this time. The board encourages speakers not to express derogatory, insensitive, or offensive statements or to engage in personal attacks against individuals. In order to allow everyone an opportunity to speak, I'd ask that everyone please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the board can do so at this time. Please state your name and address clearly for the secretary to take the minutes.
Jeannie
Thank you.
Cavallero, 109 Siemens Lane, Unit 25. Good evening. I know you must be tired of seeing me. It's been a long year. I've expressed many different options for the cause of the condominiums and the trash rebate. I've spoken to several of you and the mayor about this situation, and what I am hoping we can do is work together to make that rebate come into 2023. It's a 20-year-old ordinance. I was here with Dick Anderson and Marty Lippman when we presented it for coalition, and it got passed. At that time, we were very thankful. It helped us out tremendously with our budgets. But as everything has escalated, it no longer has as much impact. It was wonderful that you gave the 55 and older community last year the extra $1 per week. But we have 55 and older people in all the communities that struggle with their budgets and their incomes being frozen. It would be wonderful if they could get some kind of relief also. It only helps the associations when this money goes back in our budgets. All American Waste, Oak Ridge, and Bazzuto's are the only 3 vendors that are in compliance with the town. And that's who we have to use in order to have the rebate in place. Any help that the board can give us would be greatly appreciated. And all we're doing is looking for some kind of fairness. We are taxpayers as you are. There is no difference between a condominium being taxed and a single-family house. We're all in it together. I thank you for any consideration that you give us. Good night.
Hi, my name is Mary Dalton, and I live in a 55 and over community at 21 Southwick Court North, and I'm here just to support Jeannie. I wanted to thank you for giving us the $1 that you did give to the 55 and older community, but I'm here representing all the condos in the city of Milford, and again, we're asking for a fair rebate for our trash pickup. It is a very costly process, having our trash picked up individually. One of the things I was going to say might help a little bit if there's some kind of a legal pathway that would allow Public Works to pick up the recycle and the refuse on the associations that don't use dumpsters. I know we have private roads and Public Works might have a problem coming down private roads, but maybe there's a legal pathway where that would save a little bit of money for the city, for us, if Public Works could pick up the trash. It's just an idea. Again, I'm just here again supporting Milford Coalition of Condominiums in their effort to get a fair trash rebate. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Lisa Gregory. My address is 311 Zion Hill Road. I am here on behalf of the Mathewson Elementary School PTA and the rest of we have a few parent representatives here as well, and Melissa Courier, and we're really excited at the thought of having a new playground. We have a bunch of kiddos that wrote some letters. They were just delighted that it's even being taken into consideration. So we're here in support of getting a new playground for Mathewson. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joe Samantzuk. I live at 61 Governors Avenue. I was just looking through the agenda tonight, and I came across this appropriation for increased wastewater treatment for Atlantic Brewing Company, and it's in an amount of $1.7 million. I just hope I was just wondering, because I work in a factory not in Milford, and you know, we had to put in a system ourselves, and it doesn't sound dissimilar to this system, and we had to pay for it. We had to maintain it. More importantly, it's expensive to maintain. So I'm just wondering in this case why the taxpayers are footing this bill. It seems like it's a processing step that the factory ought to take on themselves as part of their processing, process. So I don't know if there was a deal that went along with them bringing this factory into the city, or I just think it'd be something to question. That seems like a lot of money for the taxpayer to take on for a private business. So I hope you take a look at that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana Balin, 281 Plains Road. I'm here to say thank you on behalf of the Mathewson community we appreciate you considering us for getting the new playground. When I told my son where I was going tonight and to say that it was for a new playground, he just jumped up and down in hopes of the new playground, because playgrounds are so important for little kids. They get to exert their energy, play with friends, and be creative. So just thanks again.
Hi, Kristen, Magazine 32 Sumner Ave. I am the president of Meadowside PTA, and I would like for all of you to continue to consider a new playground for Meadowside as well. We are delighted to hear that, although Liliana, you'll hear her in a minute, is in 5th grade and she won't get to experience. Her brother will be in kindergarten. So we know that it is a very big wish for the students at Meadowside and a big wish for us parents, particularly that the equipment be upgraded, more accessible, and available for all of the students at Meadowside. It is quite a diverse community with a lot of particular needs, and kids, we would like to be able to see them play together. Our accessible playground and our playground down the hill are separated. One's in front of the building and one's on the side. So we'd love for all of that to come together and to help to support the Meadowside community.
Hello, I am Liliana Magazine, 32 Sumner Ave. I am a student at Meadowside School, and I feel that we should have a new playground because it is a little bit older and dirtier, but also it isn't very interactive. Like some kids in our building with like special needs, they don't really have anything that, well, kids that physically can't run or climb, because I feel that's the only thing that we can really do on our playground. And I would like to see the kids with special needs be able to play on the playground. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sean O'Neill. I live in 77 Robert Tree Drive. I'm here to support Jean Cavallero. I live in a condominium, and recently, as you probably know, people in condominiums, they're kind of apathetic about being involved with the condominium, and I suppose that's true in a lot of things as well. Voters are probably, as you know, apathetic. And I found recently that our board was under-reporting the amount of money that they said that they were receiving. So we managed to stir up, beat the drums and get everybody involved and say, hey, we got to do something about this. And we're in the process of doing something about that right now. But, and I'm now on the board. But one of the things that I learned from that is that you have to look at the numbers and you have to speak up about the numbers. And when Jean emailed me, it's like, you know what, Jean is coming here alone all the time. I got to come and support Jean in behalf of the condominiums in Milford. So that's why I'm here. Thanks a lot.
Anyone else would like to address the board can do so at this time. Seeing none, we'll go on to agenda item number 3. Alderman Harla, agenda item number 3, consideration of minutes.
Consideration of the minutes for the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen held on January 9th, 2023.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 4, there was no special meeting. Agenda item number 5, Chairman's report. Glad to see everybody survived the extreme cold we had this past weekend. And I hope this is, I know the groundhog said that we are going to have an early spring, so let's all keep our fingers crossed. Maybe we'll have an early spring. Agenda item number 6, Mr. Mayor, do you have a report or recommendations?
Mr. Chairman, I agree with you. It has been an awful temperate winter, other than the cold snap this past weekend. I know that it brings a smile to our Public Works Director, Chris Saley, because his snowplow budget has been intact. And That's good news for the budget of the city. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I do respectfully request your action and consideration on those items 8A through 8N. Happy to answer any questions as they come about.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Agenda item number 7, there is no unfinished business. Agenda item number 8, moving on to new business, Alderman Harla. Agenda item number 8A.
Agenda item number 8A, the Board of Aldermen approval is hereby requested for the appointment of Julie Valvo, 169 Orinoco Road, as a member of the Inland Wetlands Agency to fill a present vacancy, term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla, agenda item number 8B.
Agenda item number 8B, Board of Aldermen approval is hereby requested for the appointment of Timothy Phelan as a member of Milford's Economic Development Commission to fulfill a present vacancy, term expiring December 31st, 2023.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. At this time, will our newly confirmed board and commission members come to the front of the auditorium for the city clerk to swear you in?
Mr. Chairman, I believe that both are not able to make it this evening. Both will coordinate with our city clerk to get sworn in individually by Karen Fortunati.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Agenda item number 8C, Alderman Harla.
Agenda item number 8C, the Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding a grant application for the Department of Human Services.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla, agenda item number 8D.
Agenda item number 8D, the Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding a grant application for youth and family services activities.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 8E, Alderman Harla.
Agenda item 8E, the Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding a grant application for the Office of Early Childhood.
Second.
the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 8F, Alderman Harla.
Agenda item 8F, Board of Aldermen approval is requested per the attached maintenance agreement between the City of Milford and Schneider Electric, and to authorize the Mayor and Public Works Director to take all steps necessary, including the signing of documents to effectuate said agreement.
Second.
the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. At this point, I will entertain a motion to reorder the agenda to move items 12A-1, 12A-2, and 12A-3 as the next items on the agenda, so we can vote on the bonding ordinances.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made and seconded. Items number 12A, Alderman Michelle Parente.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier this evening, the Ordinance Committee of the Board of Aldermen met, and we voted to forward to the full board the following ordinances for discussion and for a vote. Ordinance 12A-1, an ordinance appropriating $4,675,000 for the construction and design of sanitary sewers and wastewater facilities, and authorizing the issuance of $4,675,000 bonds of the city to meet said appropriation, and pending the issuance thereof of the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. 12A-2, an ordinance appropriating $5,857,500 for the various public improvements and authorizing the issuance of $5,857,500 bonds of the city to meet said appropriation, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowing for such purpose. And finally, 12A-3, an ordinance appropriating $8,800,000 for various school improvements and authorizing the issuance of $8,800,000 bonds of the city to meet said appropriations, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowing for such purpose. Thank you.
Agenda item 12A-1. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Motion is made in second on agenda item 12A-1. Any discussion? Alderman Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you to Peter. Can we get Peter, what is our standard at this point? What is our indebtedness in the bonding field?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, our outstanding principal, I believe, is approximately $170 million.
So the total bonds that are out at $170 million?
Approximately, yes.
Thank you. And at what rate are we paying those bonds off at this point in time?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the rates vary, anywhere a combined rate of between 2 to 4.5%.
So we can safely say averaging about 3.5, or something in that area?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Alderman Gurman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, I guess to the mayor, can you just give us a little more detail on the bonding for the athletic brewing of $1.8 million and how that plays into our city budget?
Sure. And the athletic brewing proposal is unique. As you know, we authorize bonding each year approximately $20 to $30 million, and a portion of that is reimbursable through either some grants or some reimbursement programs through the state or federal government. This is a reimbursement or a funding of our debt service by a private organization, almost a public-private partnership. So the agreement that we have with Athletic Brewing is this, and again, our city attorney has drafted the language for a contract or an agreement that if this board approves tonight, we can move forward with. But the Housatonic treatment plant requires upgrades. Those upgrades don't necessarily have to be made this year. We have maybe 5 years, according to our consultants, to make those upgrades. However, Athletic Brewing Company is a huge non-alcoholic brewery. Right now, the Sewer Commission has approved them for 20,000 gallons a day of flow into our wastewater treatment system. They want to increase capacity to 80,000 gallons per day of flow. And in order to do that, our consultants, our engineers are requiring that we make improvements or enhancements to the wastewater treatment facility that we have in order to accommodate that additional flow. It's a lot of flow. And the agreement that we have with Athletic Brewing is that they will pay or they will fund the debt service over the course of the 10-year bond until the entire note is paid off. Is there some risk? Yes, because if Athletic Brewing goes tapioca, there is that risk. We would be one of many different folks that probably had a UCC lien on the property. What's different, however, is at the end of the day, we still get those upgrades. And I think that even in the short amount of time that they've been in Milford, ABC Company, Athletic Brewing Company, has demonstrated that they are well-backed, well-financed, and moving forward at a very quick clip. They are, doubling and tripling each and every week their business. It's one of the fastest growing companies in the United States, and I think that's a testament to the fact that they are creative, and one of the ways that they have demonstrated that they're creative is this agreement, which I really think is a win-win for the city. Again, it's something that helps the rest of the community. These are improvements or enhancements to our wastewater treatment plant that we would have had to have made. The only difference is they are going to be funded by ABC, Athletic Brewing Company. Again, the details, John Burcham can give you some of those finer points, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Just a quick follow-up, Mr. Chairman. When do you expect the improvements to be completed?
We do have our Public Works Director, but as soon as we have the go-ahead to fund the project, our sewer commission will authorize the design and put it out to bid. I believe it probably has approximately a one-year window. I'll defer to Chris Saley if he has a different timeline, but we have already done a survey. The engineers have already done a pretty significant assessment of what exactly is needed, and that assessment was funded also, I think it was an $80,000 study by Athletic Brewing Company. So they have put their money where their mouth is and already moved forward with making sure that there is that public-private partnership.
Thank you very much. And I'd just like to mention, I think Athletic Brewing is the largest non-alcoholic brewery in the country, or might be the world, isn't it? Right here in Milford.
Alderman Marlowe.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. First of all, Mayor, thank you for the explanation on the athletic brewing. I had a question along the lines of Alderman Gurman, but on the other projects. What is the time frame on these projects? And I had asked last time how you prioritize, because it's a lot of projects that need to be done, and how do you, and maybe it's through to Mr. Saley, as to how do you identify which one takes priority over the other?
So on the sewer projects, which are before us right now, the sewer commission works with our wastewater treatment plant folks and our sewer consultants to help identify the prioritization of those projects, and then they make recommendations to me and to the Board of Finance and to your board as to which ones are most critical to support the infrastructure and keep the maintenance going. On other projects, we look at the 5-year capital improvement plan, and we look at a variety of things. We look at other projects. We also look at some of the needs of the community. Sometimes it's school needs. If we know that the schools are putting in a new playground at Matthewson or Meadowside, we may not make enhancements to a pocket park nearby right away. We may delay that because there's something in the area. There's a whole host of different factors, but each of the different departments weigh in, and on an annual basis, they provide their requests and their priorities for the upcoming 5-year period.
Thank you. Just to follow up along, you had mentioned the schools, and I think that will probably be the bigger question as far as the playgrounds go, is because they can't all be done at once, obviously. And how would you prioritize, or how do you know which one is it strictly a safety thing that you go to and say, hey, this one needs to be done before this? They'll all get done, but some probably will get done before others.
For playgrounds in particular, Bill Garfield and the rec department, they do have a replacement list. They do a few playgrounds a year, and they do it generally the oldest playgrounds first. There's some adjustments to that based on things like safety. If there's a broken piece and it's not able to be replaced easily, then they may have to replace the entire playground and it gets out of line. But for the most part, they look at replacing the oldest playground next. And sometimes there's playgrounds that get used a little bit more. That's also taken into consideration, but they do have a replacement plan in place. Similar to our asphalt management program, our roads, we have a list of approximately 1,200 city roads, and we have assessed the last time that they were milled and paved or totally reconstructed, and we have a plan to take a look at roads in a certain area and replace those or repave and remill those roads in a strategic way so that we're doing it thoughtfully and not just replacing willy-nilly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Alderman Brozier.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Mayor, I mean, this is a huge coup getting Athletic Brewing Company here, and thank you for all your hard work and doing your due diligence in getting them here and helping to keep them here. That being said, do you know approximately how many jobs are created at that site?
I don't, but I do know that they're growing exponentially. I went to the ribbon cutting last summer, and they did make the announcement. I just forget how many that was.
Just
So,
as a point of
hundreds.
information, I think it's about 150 at this point.
Okay. And I think it was supposed to grow to 300 approximately, is what I remember, but I could be wrong.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Alderman Vitale. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Alderman Giannatasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to the members of the board. Through you to Mayor Blake. Mayor Blake, at last month's meeting, you mentioned the capital improvement plan. I highlighted some, in my opinion, action items that reflected public health, public safety. I don't see any of those listed before us as far as being done. I know you reached out to Alderman Casey in regards to the elevator that was discussed at the library.
Point of order? That's not, point of order? That's not germane to the topic at hand.
Alderman Giannatasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess my question is, Mayor Blake, are any of those capital improvement plans that were before us last month, are they ready to be
Excuse me, Mr.
bonded?
Chairman, point of order, please.
What is your point of order, Alderman Brozier? I'm sorry. Alderman Willis.
I think just Alderman Brozier just asked for a point of order, and it's not germane to what we're discussing. That's.
You want to rephrase that, Alderman Giannatasio?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, no problem, and I appreciate the time. We are discussing appropriations. In order to make these improvements, whether they be public safety improvements or public health improvements, we need to bond for them, as you know, and that's the purpose of this meeting. So my question is, Mayor Blake, can you reassure us that, based on last month's discussion, that those action items that I highlighted will be taken care of as part of this bonding package? I know that we have several things in front of us, but there happened to be one line item that was for the resurfacing of parks. Is the Welch's Point Park included in this bond package? Because that was one of the ones that I identified as being potentially a hazard for children at play. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, through you to Alderman Giannatasio, each of the proposed bond authorizations for capital projects, I know that we're wastewater sewer projects right now, but when we get to the general city projects and then the projects for the Milford Public Schools, each of them derives from our capital improvement plan. It's part of our planning process. There is a write-up about each of the projects that you're going to be considering tonight, and it's taken from the CP1, the Capital Improvement Program's actual page. It was included in your agenda packet. In terms of the resurfacing, that page is in there. And yes, the $300,000 amount that is part of the general operations upgrades will be resurfacing some courts. The only thing that I take offense at, there is absolutely no public safety issues. It's a court that was relatively recently paved within the last 5 or 6 years. It's a good court. We're going to enhance it that much more by putting a finish coat or it's a asphalt paint combination, and it makes it that much smoother. But it is a very safe basketball court. The whole playground was upgraded within the last 5-6 years, and we dedicated to a member of our community. That playground in particular is one that the rec department, I think, wants to just keep enhancing and improving, but none of our playgrounds are unsafe.
And I appreciate your explanation, and it goes back to what Alderman Marlowe mentioned, is the time frame. I know that things do happen, in real time, and they could be potentially a public safety issue that may be identified sooner or later. My concern is that they get addressed and what the process is in order to make those repairs or those improvements, such as, the lead paint that's coming off of Stern Hall. That was identified as lead paint and it needs to be abated. To me, that's a public health issue. I mean, you can't have a city-owned building that is decaying and it's flaking and lead paint is chipping off. I mean, we all know that lead paint is a hazard. So once again, I just want to make sure that they're being taken care of. It's no offense to you, but I think that maybe at the end of the day, a lot of these things are at your discretion, and I just want to make sure that, they're not being, put off, like the elevator at the library. Through my inquiries,
Point of order, Mr. Chair. This isn't germane to the
Alderman
comment.
Giannassasi, let's stay on the subject matter. You're jumping around. You go to elevator, to playground. Let's stay with one at a time.
I understand, Mr. Chairman. I'm just trying to make the point that, this is the time when we have to come together as a board and make sure that these things are being done. We just can't, hope that they're getting done. We have to make sure, and we have to have, transparency. So, thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Alderman Gurman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to, I don't know if Mayor or Peter, on the financing charge, where do you come up with that rate? As we all know, rates have increased significantly this year, and that's roughly 10%, but is it X amount over how many years? Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Alderman Gurman, the 10% figure is an estimate, but it doesn't merely cover the interest rate on the bond anticipation notes. It also covers the cost of issuance, so it pays for the various fees that are required for bonding, legal fees, fees for the ratings, fees for the issuance and the administration of the sale, etc. So it covers the whole cost of issuance, not just the interest rate on the notes.
So just a quick follow-up, Mr. Chairman. So what is the current rate for the new bonding going out now?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, in the recent sale that we had in the fall of 2022, the rates, as you can imagine, have increased compared to what we've enjoyed historically. I believe the rate on the bonds was in the 4% range, and the rate on the notes was, I believe, in the 3% range.
Thank you very much.
Alderman Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you to Peter. Peter, what is our bond rating at this particular point?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, believe the bond rating is AA+, which is just one notch below of the AAA.
At this point, it's AA+. Did we not have a AAA rating last time?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, yes, we did enjoy the AAA rating for a number of years, but I believe in the past year or so, it was changed to the AA+.
Is that correlated to any particular point in our budget that the bonding company degrades us a certain percentage or letter designation? Is that due to any particular piece in our budget that we're not funding?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I don't think it's one particular piece. It's numerous pieces that they look at. They look at the overall economy of the state, the local economy. They also look at our level of reserves, our use of fund balance. They look at how we fund our pension, whether we're contributing the 100% of the annual required contribution, and they look at a whole host of economic factors as well to come up with their decision. Thank you.
So and I understand that, and thank you for that explanation, but the fact remains, it is true that we're not funding liabilities, and I think one of those stark issues is the pension. Actuaries had indicated they recommend that we maybe not fund at one particular point in time 100%. We haven't been over 100% in many, many years. I think the last time I looked or we saw it was about 80% that we're funding the pension. And the fact remains, I think that's the biggest piece.
Point of order. We're talking about pensions, right? Point of order.
We're talking about bonding. We're talking about bonding.
Alderman Vitale, we're talking about bonding.
Right.
Well, you're talking about pension.
That's why our bonding went down. And I'm asking Peter if that is a true issue as to why we got a letter grade below. That one of the issues of that particular
Through
credit.
you, Mr. Chairman, I respect what the Alderman is saying. I'll just clarify that in the recent budget, we did fund 100% of the ADIC, and we've been gradually increasing it each year. So I think we can all be pleased that we're at 100% now, and the rating agencies were also appreciative of that and we did acknowledge that in the last discussion.
So there are the other factors that you involve and you talked about at that point. So thank you for that explanation. Hope everybody is aware of that also. Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Alderman Parente.
Yes, I want us to get back to what we were focused on, but through you, Chairman, to the Finance Director, I read the Fitch rating report, and it did signify that we're in a very robust, solid financial position. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We have a motion, need a second for item 12A-2. Looking for a second.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Alderman Giannatasio.
So I would just like to thank I believe it's Mathewson, and someone mentioned the possibility of Meadowside in the near future, the people to come out to speak in favor of the new playground, and we appreciate in our packet, Mr. Riccitelli included your letters. We know that the playground is in disarray, and we look forward to improving it as soon as possible, and I do rise in support of it, and it does make a big difference when you come here and you speak and you advocate for your school, so we appreciate that, and thank you.
Alderman Ward Willis.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. through you, first of all, I want to thank everybody that came out to speak about this tonight. That takes a lot of courage, and we certainly appreciate it. I do want to ask Mr. Riccitelli a couple questions.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Mayor, Madam City Clerk. I believe that you're on the item which is city improvements, not education improvements. But when you get to the one on education, I'm happy to discuss it with you. Is that okay? Or, okay.
Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We have a motion, we need a second for item 12A-3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Alderman Willis. We're on the last ordinance, correct?
All right, thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman, to, I don't know, Jim, Mr. Riccitelli, what do you prefer?
No, Jim is fine.
Okay, I thought so, but I just want to know, there's a couple of questions I have. How are you addressing the issue for access to children with disabilities in these playgrounds? Is that being addressed?
It is. All of our designs for playgrounds include accessible components to them.
Okay, and the other question is, how long do these playgrounds last on average where you have to build again?
Sure. Life expectancy is about 20 years.
Okay. All right, and just the last question is, I understand it's Mathewson, Meadowside, and there's a third school, right?
The prices that we've been getting for playgrounds, the $1 million will cover probably 2 of them. If there's enough money left over for a third one, we haven't determined which one that will be yet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderman Marlowe.
Good evening. Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Riccitelli. On the playgrounds, again, with ordering the playgrounds and such, how long a time frame? They're not just like sitting somewhere on a shelf, these things.
No.
So you have to have it designed and you have to have it purchased. Realistically, when would one be finished?
If the board approves the money this evening, we've already began the discussions with the companies prior to going out to bid or using the state bid. So we would be in a good position to be able to install before the start of school this coming fall.
Well, that'd be great. That's great. Mr. Chair, just another question on the air conditioning, Mr. Riccitelli.
Sure.
Are there certain schools that you're going to focus on more than others? Is it because certain schools are going to be more, they're going to get more use in the summer for programs and such?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Marlowe. Through Mr. Chairman, through you. I have to state up front, we're grateful for the $1 million, but this is a start. The cost of air conditioning the entire district will be much, much greater than that. So we're in the process now of prioritizing which schools will be the first ones, and it may be portions of schools rather than the entire school, because $1 million is not enough to air condition an entire school. What we're looking at right now is those schools that have second floors, because the second floors become the hottest. And there's very few schools. The only ones that we have are Jonathan Law, West Shore, Pumpkin Delight. But Pumpkin Delight is being air conditioned in the current project. So we're, with the money that was set aside in the ARP grant, and with this money that's here tonight, we will probably be able to do the second floor on West Shore and a portion of the second floor at Jonathan Law. That's our plan right now. Things could change, but we're looking at the areas of the schools that get the hottest in the summers.
Thank you. I think I would agree that it's a great start. And, the schools are being used much more than they used to be over, well, not only over the summer, but just in general, they're being used a lot more. So
Yes.
I think it's a great start. Thank you. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Mr. Chair.
And I should point out that there are portions of the schools now that have air conditioning. So when we do have summer school, Foreign is fully air conditioned. So that's where we have many of our summer programs. John F. Kennedy is not air conditioned, but it's dehumidified. So it's comfortable at JFK, so we hold programs there. East Shore has one wing that was put on in the addition where we have air conditioning. So our summer programs go in those schools where there's air conditioning, to the extent that we can.
Alderman Gurman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to Jim. Can you just explain, so we have a $5,500,000 budget for technical education facility and equipment. Can you just give a little more explanation on that and what that entails? That's a lot of money. Thank you.
Dr. Kutai would be happy to.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the Board of Aldermen, Mayor Blake, and through you, Mr. Vitro, if I may answer this question. So we have big dreams for Milford Public Schools to extend our career paths. And those career paths, we hope, start in 6th grade. We know that in the STEM area, careers are growing exponentially, much more so than we can keep up. So you can imagine the equipment, the opportunities we want to offer to our children starting in middle school is something that matches the industry that they will be entering. So if afforded this opportunity through this appropriation, we would continue the work of investigating what the careers are for the future in tech ed and upgrade our facilities. We want to provide students with the most up-to-date equipment in engineering, robotics, computers, starting in middle school. So those are the plans that we would have for our young people. In the middle and high schools would be included in this request.
Quick follow-up. Is there robotics or anything training along those lines yet?
There is robotics currently in our schools. In a couple of months, I hope to talk to you a little bit about our other requests through the Board of Education, that we have some robots actually included in that budget request before you. But this would allow us to upgrade our robotics facility, so the facility within which we'll be teaching. So it will be higher grade areas of technology that we could offer.
Thank you very much.
Alderman Moffett.
I just have a quick question. We already have a very good technical school here in Milford at Platt Tech. Are these improvements going to augment what Platt Tech is doing, be an accessory for Platt Tech, or is it going to be a competitor with Platt Tech? How is that going to work out?
Thank you, and through you, Chairman. So that's a great question, and one that I talk to a lot of people about. I don't know if you know, but Platt Tech has an extensive wait list. And despite their beautiful new technical building, they're not going to be able to take all the students that may be interested in attending. Secondly, as a public school system, we believe in the comprehensive school system approach. So there may be students who are interested in a technical education but want to be part of a comprehensive school system remaining here with Milford Public Schools, either at law or foreign. So not every child that is interested in tech ed would be interested in attending Platt Tech. So I wouldn't call it competitive, but I would call it complementary.
Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your answering all our questions. Alderman Harlow. Alderman Harla, agenda item number 8G.
Agenda item number 8G, the Board of Aldermen, approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding cash advance for the design and construction of sanitary sewers and wastewater facilities, 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harlow, agenda item 8H.
Agenda item number 8H, the Board of Aldermen's approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding a cash advance for various public improvements, 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Everybody want to wake up? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item 8J, Alderman Harla.
Agenda item number 8J, the Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attachment resolution regarding Milford Board of Education concerning school construction grant for technical education, facility, and equipment alterations, upgrades, and improvements at the high school and middle schools, 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla.
Agenda item number 8K, Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding Milford Board of Education concerning school construction grant for the installation of air conditioning systems at various schools, 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla, agenda item 8I.
Agenda item number 8L, I believe.
L, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Looks like an I.
Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding Milford Board of Education concerning school construction grant for HVAC improvements at various schools, 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla, agenda item number 8M.
Agenda item 8M, Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding reduction and rescission of authorized, unused, and unissued amounts totaling $16,388,064 per the attached table entitled Board to Rescind Financial Year 2023, identifying projects, acquisitions, purposes funded with the bond's band proceeds.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Alderman Giannattasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to our Finance Director. Peter, can you just give us a little background on what we're actually effectuating here?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chairman, through Alderman Giannattasio. This is a task that needs to be done periodically. It's a bit of housekeeping, if you will. The last time that this was before the board was, I believe, in August of 2010. So it's long overdue, and it's something that we need to keep up with periodically to cancel any unused authorized amounts from previous bond ordinances.
Will this get us a higher bond rating?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, that I wouldn't venture to go there. I can't speak to that. Well, if you make one positive factor is that if there are any residual equity in the projects, that would go back to the general fund, so that could increase our unassigned fund balance, and that does help with our bond rating. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more discussion on the motion? Alderman Gurman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to Peter again. So would that mean these bonds were paid off?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, Alderman Gurman, let me clarify, no, these are not actual bonds that were issued. These are just unused authorized amounts from prior ordinances where the projects came in under budget.
All right, thanks for the clarification.
Alderman Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to Peter. Peter, having said that and having explained that issue, when the question was before when we got derated from AAA to AA+, what would have been the differences if we stayed at AAA as to what we AA+? What would have been the difference in cost of bonding, in the cost of the percentage that we'd have to pay back on the bonding?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Alderman Vitale, I can't give you an exact amount. It's hard to estimate, but I would agree that when a bond rating is lowered, there is a chance that the interest rate could be a little bit higher. So yes, there could be a bit of increased cost, but in this case, the change was, AA+ is still an excellent rating. So we would have to be downgraded much more to see a substantial increase in the interest cost.
But all said, after all said and done, we are experiencing an increase in percentages because we have lost that rating, and that's what we have to be tremendously aware of when we talk about the budget coming up this year, so that we have to make sure that we can get to that AAA rating again. Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion?
Well, that last comment, through you, Mr. Chairperson, Alderman Vitale, that last comment confused me, that we have to be cognizant. It's not cause and effect that if the bond, I thought that was the explanation that our CFO gave us, that it's not cause and effect. There are many drivers into the bond rating. And then also, there are many factors that are involved in the percentage that we're getting, including what the percentage is locally, statewide, nationally, what the inflation rate is. So it's not cause and effect, just so to clarify. But I have a question. I have a question. Just to clarify for me, when you were explaining to Alderman Vitale about the unused bond money and where does it go, could you repeat that? Because that was different than my understanding. I really just am asking for a personal clarification. You mentioned the general fund, whereas my understanding is that it's separate. We're talking about unused bond money on paper.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chairman, to Alderman Beatty. The bonded projects are in other funds. We have a sanitary sewer fund, a capital fund, and a school construction fund as well. And when the bonds and notes are issued, sometimes there are residual balances in the projects, and if you accumulate them all together, those funds should be transferred back to the general fund once the projects are closed out and the unused bond authorization is rescinded in this step.
Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to confirm that we did announce 8I. It's a cash advance for school improvements. I just want to make sure that if the board can consider that item one more time, just to clarify or confirm that we didn't miss it.
Madam Secretary, you want to do item 8I again? Okay. Alderman Harlow,
Right, for
agenda
good measure.
item 8I.
Item number 8I. The Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached resolution regarding the cash advance for various school improvements 2023.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 8N, Alderman Harlow.
Agenda item number 8N. Board of Aldermen approval is requested for the attached Director of Health Employment contract as required by 19A-200 of the Connecticut General Statutes to authorize the mayor to take all steps necessary, including the signing of all documents to effectuate said contract.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 9, there is no new business. Agenda item number 10, moving on to budget memo transfers. Alderman Harlow, agenda item 10.
I don't have it. Agenda item number 10, budget memo transfers. Consideration of the budget memo transfers number 3 and number 4, Fund 1005.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to refunds, Alderman Harlow, agenda item 11A.
Item 11A, the refunds list. Consideration of refunds in the amount of $12,577.30.
Second.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 12, is there any reports from any of their standing committees? I don't see any. Move on to agenda item number 13, or is there any reports of any special committees? Alderman Parente.
Thank you. This isn't really a report. I and Alderman Giantasio are the liaisons to the fire department. I see our 2 assistant chiefs here tonight, so I just wanted to give you an inadequate thank you for your service to us.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Moving on to agenda item number 14, I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss items 14A through 14G. 14A, consideration of settlement of WP Properties LLC versus City of Milford regarding 185 Plains Road. 14B, consideration of settlement of Costco Wholesale Corporation versus City of Milford regarding 1718 Boston Post Road. 14C, consideration of settlement of PL 612 Wheelers Farms Road Limited Partnership versus City of Milford regarding 612 Wheelers Farms Road. 14D, consideration of settlement of Merit Corporation Woods versus City of Milford, account number 023710 regarding 0 Wheelers Farms Road. 14E, consideration of settlement of Merit Corporation Woods versus City of Milford, account number 006209 regarding 0 Wheelers Farms Road. 14F, consideration of settlement of Right Aid of Connecticut Incorporated regarding 1360 Boston Post Road. Settlement discussion concerning national opioid litigation. Joining us in executive session for items 14A through 14F will be the Mayor, Ben Blake, City Attorney John Bertram, and City Assessor Marcus Eric. For items 14G, we will be joined by the Mayor, Ben Blake, and City Attorney John Bertram. Is there a motion?
Chairman, so moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are in executive session.
I didn't get one in case we need the mics.
You all set, Tony? Thank you. We're out of executive session. Alderman Harlow.
14A, I make a motion to approve the settlement of WP Properties LLC versus the City of Milford regarding 185 Plains Road.
Second.
As discussed in executive session.
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to call for a 5-minute recess. 5-minute recess?
You want a 5-minute recess now? Why? Why? He's going to read the executive session notes, and we're going to adjourn. We're out of recess. Alderman Harla.
Did we vote, Tony, did we vote on 14A? Okay. Make a motion for 14A?
You read the motion.
No, I know. We didn't get a motion.
And it was
Okay,
seconded.
we did get a second, okay.
Motion was read and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harlow.
14B, I make a motion to approve the settlement of Costco Wholesale Corporation versus the City of Milford regarding 1718 Boston Post Road as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
We got one abstention. Alderman Harlow. What?
Do you have to give a reason why you abstained?
No.
No?
He's got a personal vendetta. Alderman Harlow.
Just for point of clarity there, or point of clarification, that was funny, but that's not the case. just so it doesn't make the minutes.
I'm only kidding. Alderman Harlow.
Agenda item 14C, to make a motion to approve the settlement of 612 Wheelers Farm Road Limited Partnership versus City of Milford regarding 612 Wheelers Farm Road as discussed in executive session.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
14D, I make a motion to approve the settlement of Merritt Corporation Woods versus the City of Milford regarding 0 Wheelers Farm Road as discussed in executive session.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
14E, I make a motion to approve the settlement of Merritt Corp Woods versus the City of Milford regarding 0 Wheelers Farm Road as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
14F, I make a motion to approve the settlement of Rite Aid of Connecticut versus the City of Milford regarding 1360 Boston Post Road as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
We have one abstention.
Finally, 14G, I make a motion to approve the settlement concerning national opioid litigation as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Harla, that's it?
That's it.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.